ministerial level, hard decisions would have to be made. I mean, we do recall, for example, recently in our own country, Ghana here, the problems that Nigerian traders have had with the system. There have been protocols, some that then some countries don't particularly abide by the protocols. Others, I think, are difficult to put in place. But there are difficulties. I think we would cross the bridge when we come to them. But as I said, it's a notorious fact that there are difficulties in the system.
Mr. Chairman, my last.
You have had 3.
I'm also wondering, how many questions do you want to ask?
You have had 3 already.
My last, Mr. Chairman.
Please, let me not start.
I'm taking one from my leader.
No, he will give it to you when he's. But please, let me not start a precedent which I cannot manage.
Yes.
Yes. Any person from the majority side?
No question.
All right. Yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Katie Hammond. I'm sure as a member of the House, you are conversant with the annual reports to Parliament of the staff of the presidential office. I'm sure you are conversant with the annual report, because all of us parliamentarians are given a copy of the report.
That does not necessarily make you conversant with it. You may have a copy, but you know what I mean.
Well, the assumption is that if you are as intelligent as you claim, you will be conversant
Mr. Chairman, can you have a discussion with your colleague over
Honorable,
there?
that is unparliamentary.
Well, but Mr. Chairman, the nominee must realize that he's before a serious committee. You can do whatever you do with us outside the sitting of the committee. When you come before the committee and you're on national television and everybody is viewing, you must take us serious. I'm asking a question. Let me finish asking the question. And if you have an answer, you can give your answer. If you tell the whole country that you've not been paying attention to the papers that have been given to you, it's up to you.
Mr. Chairman,
we are working on your nomination, and you are interjecting
Honorable
member,
it's me. I'm supposed to regulate the meeting. So if I'm failing, I'll take responsibility. Please proceed with your question. That's it.
The question I have,
I wanted to repeat what Honorable Ayariga said. At the time of our country, where people are in real difficulty making ends meet, I'm of the view that the nominee is very affable, and we all know. But when you are about to take, at least as the president wished, a position as a trade minister, you need to put up a posture that is more serious than being friendly to us.
I thought, please, Honorable, please, I think it's my fault. I should not be allowing this. All right. Now, please continue with your question. I want us to be as strict as possible, and I'm going to apply the rules very strictly.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So, Honorable Nominee, the report to Parliament of the presidential staffers for 2021 indicated that there was a total of 337 political appointees. 337 political appointees at the office of the president. 337 political appointees. That is contained in the report that came to Parliament for 2021. I want to find out from you, what work will 337 137 people be doing at the office of the president? Do you have any idea what work they are doing?
Honorable, please. Honorable members, we are guided by our standing orders. If it's a report that is before you, their work and things would be in the report. So for things that are already published are not admissible questions. Please ask another question.
Well, you have to show me specifically which provision of our standing orders bar me from asking this question.
Can we ask another question, please?
Chairman, you have to show me that. You have to show me a provision in our standing orders that says that I cannot ask him that question.
Honorable members, this is not a new business we're doing. Please, don't worry. I expect that he knows. He knows the rules. He knows what regards questions. So I should not be pointing it out to him, just to the public. But please, I've ruled that you should ask another question, please.
Oh, Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that I don't know. And I'm not embarrassed to say I don't know. So because I don't know, I'm saying that point to the specific provisions that says that when there's a nominee before this committee, I cannot ask him about the workings of the office of the president. I expect a specific provision that says so.
I'm appointed to 67(1)(h). A question shall not be asked, the answer to which is readily available in official publications.
Mr. Speaker, I refer to that official publication.
Where is it?
The report. You have it. Everybody has it. Nobody has disputed the fact.
The one on the phone is doctor.
Mr. Speaker, the report just mentions people, and then it mentions an office. So, for instance, you have presidential staffer, about 44 people. You have presidential advisor on the economy, presidential advisor on health, presidential advisor on media, presidential advisor on SDGs. You have several presidential staff. It just says presidential staffer. Then you have mention of senior presidential aide. Then you have presidential aide. Then you have presidential physician. That I can tell is a medical doctor. Then you have special aide to the chief of staff. Special aide to the chief of staff. Special aide to Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development. Special assistant to deputy chief of staff. Special assistant to the senior presidential advisor. Special assistant to the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology, and Innovation. Special advisor to the Minister for Interior. Special advisor to the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration.
You said that,
Mr. Speaker,
we all have copies of the report.
Yes.
Yes. So
I shouldn't repeat them.
Not necessarily. We have copies.
Okay.
Can they ask your question?
Yes. So why will special advisor for ministers of state be sitting at the office of the president?
Honorable, are you aware why they sit at the office of the president?
Mr. Chairman,
please, what will allow is whether he's aware of that or not.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not aware. But before I do, Mr. Chairman, let me put a matter in perspective. Mr. Chairman, I'm aware that we're on live television. I'm not sure I'm trivializing this occasion. Number two, the honorable member from Boko has been a good friend all along. We've always known in the House that he is Harvard trained. I've never doubted his competence. If he now says that I claim I am brilliant.
Honorable, please, can you leave that
is his matter.
I
thought I should put that into proper perspective.
Thank you very much. Please, leave it there. Can you ask another question, please?
He's not aware of what work they are doing. He's not aware of the work they are doing. No, I didn't hear his answer. That's why I'm...
Honorable, can you ask another question? Otherwise, I'll move on.
No, okay. Now, Honorable Katie Hammond, the perception is that the size of government is humongous. It's big. It's so big, given the country's financial situation now. Do you not think that the president should be reducing the number of ministers that he has now? Is that what you do? You not think? If you don't think so, fine, you can say it. But that's my question. Do you think that the size of government is big, and therefore we should be reducing the number of ministerial appointments that we have?
Mr. Chairman, it's a point he makes. I think it would be a good idea that the president hears of this.
And do you think, I'm supposed to ask 3 questions. Yeah, this is my 3rd question. The minority takes a position that the president ought not to have made additional appointments, but that he should have realigned and reassigned existing ministers to occupy ministerial portfolios such as the one that you seek to occupy now. Do you have a view on our position?
To start with, I don't know your position, and I'm not so sure I can have a view on it, because I don't know what your position is. I am called here to be vetted because the president has nominated me for a position as Minister for Trade and Industry. I'm not sure if in the discussions that has just gone on there, you suggest that this portfolio should have been reconfigured or aligned with any other ministry. I'm not so sure that's the point you're making.
Yeah, Obama.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations, Honorable Hammond. Honorable Hammond, my constituency houses the headquarters of second-hand electrical dealers. There have been issues about banning the importation of their wares into the country, and they've been having issues with the Standards Authority, which comes under your ministry, and other agencies. They would want to hear from you how you would want to assist in solving some of these issues at the ministry. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. John, it's an important issue. It's a bread and life issue. But again, it's also a national developmental issue. So much dumping of goods of whatever description in the country. It's a difficult one. Let collective decision of cabinet be brought to bear on this very sore subject. You see, on the one hand, you want to do away with all these matters, all these products, electrical, well, some of them environmentally are not friendly. But then on the other hand, people need to live, they need to trade. What do we do? Let the collective cabinet decide on this matter. And as I said, I've seen that it's also on the list that government has decided that clear decisions to be made on.
Thank you. Honorable, on the issue of AFTA, Ghana hosts the headquarters of AFTA here, and I'm sure you've been following what the president has been talking about and its importance to our economy. How are you going to assist our business community to take full advantage of the AFTA program? Thank you.
Well, it's interesting. It dovetails into what the Honorable Nilante was actually discussing. If we could harness the full potential of ECOWAS, and now coupled with that, the full potential of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, I think it should go to a very considerable extent to help our advancement, our industrialization, our trade, and economic well-being generally. There are quite a few policies that I have seen which have been put in place. Number one, we should go through the proper protocols, establish the proper procedures, a trading arrangement. It's Africa, but of course it's also among countries. We should first establish areas of trade. We should ensure competition. We must also make sure that our businesses are properly placed to be able to engage in this competition that I've talked about. There have been things about incentives in the shape of tax incentives. Government is also prepared to grant other financial incentives to our nationals, our enterprises, the medium, the small, even the micro ones, the enterprises, to be properly placed. I'm aware that we are the headquarters of the organization, where that we have established the secretariat. I guess we have been placed at a considerable advantage to make sure that we take a proper advantage of this. We should look at which particular types of products we are best placed at producing. We're talking about economies of scale. We should take advantage of this situation to ensure that we develop our economy.
Honorable, you believe in the UP tradition and the policies of the MPP. We are noted for creating giants in business. And the country will want to hear from you how you're going to deliberately assist Ghanaians to take advantage of certain aspects of our economy. Thank you.
Actually, what the cabinet is put in place it gives me comfort that we should be able to cement some of the obstacles that you discussed. I have come to see that the Ministry of Trade has put together what they call a 10-point industrial development plan to revamp the economy. I used to say that the Ministry of Energy is the heartbeat of every economy, because energy is power. It helps to, it's not that it helps, it's a sine qua non. I've also come to realize that maybe trade and industry is also the fulcrum on which the industrial development of the country really revolves. We talk about development, we heard about Africa, Ghana, beyond aid and all that. That all cannot take place without proper development of our economy, and specifically to the areas you are talking about. The ministry has put together what they call a stimulus package, and that really has to do with the revitalization of the existing companies which have collapsed. When we were young, about all the companies that we had in Ghana, they've all collapsed. The government, through the Ministry of Trade and Industry, seems to be quite clear about what has to be done. They've also decided to look at the 1D, 1F thing is, of course, a flagship issue. I wasn't going to discuss that. But specifically to also look at what they call some strategic industries. And those are the ones they're talking about. Look at proper big, giant industries. We're looking at pharmaceuticals. You're looking at the automobile industries. It's quite a few. It's under control. I've seen the document, I've seen the discussion, I've seen some notes. I think if we're able to actualize the framework that has been put in place, well, we should be making some headway.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Pakuru.
Honorable Zuera.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, Honorable Nominee. Good morning, Honorable Nominee.
Hello, good morning.
I would want to take you to your CV, page 1 of your CV. It's paragraph 4. With educational background. And I can see Adansi Asokwa Local Authority LA Primary School, Yeji Local Authority LA 1 Continuation School, but I can't see the duration, which years you entered or left these institutions. Maybe you can furnish the committee with this detail so that the CV can be adequately updated.
You can't quite recall all of this. You know, some in the 60s, some in the 70s. Pretty old stuff. You know, pretty old stuff. So.
You were born in only 1960. That's not too long ago. Anyway, now, my first question, Mr. Nominee, is that this country, Ghana, since independence, all of us, many governments have come and gone, and all of us have sung the same song from the same hymn about industrializing the economy of this country. Every single government have sung this hymn. But this is 2023, and we are still sitting here talking about industrialization. The data as of 2021 indicates that 30% of our GDP goes into imports. And the government have this flagship program, which was launched amidst a lot of fanfare, one district, one factory. What would you say the one district, one factory policy or program has contributed towards this long-term agenda of industrializing this country in order that we can be self-sufficient and also make savings and run a prudent and fiscally sensitive economy? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, as you rightly indicate, well, that's why we are where we are. We were born in the 60s, but we knew the industrial condition of the country. Along the line, everything was collapsed. But the MPP government, and particularly current administration, is taking considerable strides, making a lot of effort the direction that you indicated. And you draw attention to the 1D, 1F program. It is fantastic. It's fundamental. It's good. The policy is to ensure that every single district has got a factory, and that is towards industrialization. As I understand it, there are about about 260 of such industries which so far are at various stages of completion. I think over 100 or so are already operational. About 150 at advanced stage of completion. You ask, how is that? What is the government intending to do, or how does that feed into the point that you make? Yes, government is making conscious effort through these flagship projects that every district takes advantage of the economies of scale, but with things that it's materials and resources that the particular district is capable of producing and effectively harnessing into the industrial development. Number one of its particular district, and of course into the general national feed. It establishes industries. If it establishes industries, it has this boomerang effect. you talked about the monetary aspects of it. How does it fit into our national budgetary system? Well, if we have the industries and they take care of the import substitution issues that I've just identified, that caters for at least part of the foreign exchange issues that we're talking about. But it's got many ramifications. These industries at the urban and the peri-urban stages would also look after the question of rural-urban migration. We've been complaining, Accra is chock-a-block with people seeking employment, which don't necessarily exist here, but they are now being restrained or constrained to their respective industry, districts and regions because of these projects that I'm talking about. Let's think about the youth. I understand from this project that some youth institutions were actually conglomerated and put in place industries which government has taken serious interest in and has advanced them with all the facilities government is able to ensure that they are successful. So I've also indicated to you a bit about the stimulus industries, the stimulus package, and then the decision of government to also make sure that the automobile industry it's also developed. The conscious decision to invite some giant international companies to set up assembly plants in the country. The points that previously raised and articulated, the textile industries, and of course the other ones that you haven't mentioned, the Commander Sugar, the starch factories and all those things. That's really all part of the single agenda to make sure that at least, yes, some measure of success would be attained or geared towards achieving what the President has consistently been talking about, Ghana Beyond Aid. Ghana Beyond Aid essentially is making sure that some kind of industrial revolution takes place in Ghana.
Mr. Chairman, I have a
follow-up on that. Chair, would you leave?
Chairman, she's answering her questions.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Nominee agrees with the one district, one factory policy. Just a follow-up to the elaborate answer you gave. Should you become aware that investors who are taking advantage of the 1D, 1F to help Ghana industrialize are facing difficulties in the exemption regime, what would be your reaction?
I think he will ask that later. So kindly go on. This is your regular question. You have all the time. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chairman. Actually, the Deputy Majority Leader tried to preempt my follow-up question. And I will want to go back to it, but albeit in a different manner. That I can see that clearly you've apprised yourself with happenings within the ministry that government has nominated you to superintend over.
Thank you.
In your answer, you said there are 260 of the 1D, 1F projects ongoing, with about 100 almost completed. I waited to hear in your answer specific examples. If you can mention 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 factories that are ongoing so that we know where they are. Maybe we'll require some of the products that they produce, and then you can lead us there. Thank you.
Thank you from the back. Unless if nothing at all, I'm hearing from the back that my own backyard, they have the Ekumfi juice, and you're drinking from the Ekumfi factory. That's one classic example. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My second question.
No, that was your third question.
Follow up.
No, please. Yes, Honorable.
Good morning, Uncle. Good morning, and congratulations. Just this morning, you've been confronted with two issues that your ministry is going to handle: the trade issues and the industry issues. Do you see the conflict that comes up, and how are you going to resolve it? Because you are promoting manufacture of automobiles or assembly of automobiles in the country. Fantastic policy. Yet still, your same ministry preside over bringing a lot of second-hand cars into the country. You preside over AGOA, industrializing garment making and even export of garment. And your same ministry presides over second-hand clothing imports into the country. You preside over trade aspects. You preside over manufacturing of things like TVs and things, which is being promoted, even strategic industry. And everything you preside over under industry and you want to do, you have its counterpart in trade. And obviously, the two cannot at times exist. So all the car-making companies that are coming want to extract from government, buy a certain minimum of cars before they come and establish here. So what would you do? I believe in the separation of those two ministries first. And what would you do when these conflicts come? Because in my backyard, Menchia, we have a lot of second-hand goods. It's become the center, actually, in the country of the movement of second-hand goods. And my lovely colleagues in the constituency as well. How are you going to walk that thin line?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually, I beg to differ. I don't accept the fundamental core of his argument that there is a sharp dichotomy between the two. I mean, there has to be industrialization to start with. But I guess having industrialized and produced all the goods, you don't hope to consume everything locally. That's sort of the basis of industrialization. Trade, you would have to first produce the materials, whatever is it that you want to produce. But we got a very infinitesimal, very minuscule industry market in Ghana. You cannot hope to concentrate all your efforts in Ghana. So having gone through the industrialization wing of it and having produced all this, you would want to then make sure that these earn you some hard-earned cash. You then have to import those things. That is the trade aspect of it. But I see the flip side of it that he talks about, and I think that's what Patrick discussed. I mean, the second hand, whatever and whatever. Yes, there's that concern, but I don't think fundamentally the one overshadows the other. There seriously has to be industrialization. I haven't industrialized. Listen, if we were industrialized and we were doing some serious job with our cocoa, we won't be struggling. I mean, we'll do all the cocoa, we'll do all the natural resource. It's all agro, we'll take these things out, what we get in the process. So get all of them, develop them, but sell some out there. And of course, make sure that you maintain a good market. There has to be some trading. Trading all over the world, America, Britain, all these other countries, they were developed, they industrialized, they produce the industrialized goods, but they trade. So, Mr. Minister, I'm not sure I accept in its entirety the fundamentals of your argument.
Thank you, Chair. I don't want to repeat my question, but Mr. Chair, I want to ask the nominee that where is he going to get funds to promote industrialization? Where are you going to get funds? I know of your international connection, and I know of the problem of Ministry of Trade, and generally the problem that is hanging around our necks. How are you going to use your connections to help to support some of the programs that you have said this morning?
Mr. Chairman, Minister of Energy is making this matter look like KTM was a personal wahala. I'm not so sure about that. Well, let's get in there. President, he himself, cabinet, or whatever, finance minister. Where the money comes from will be the collective responsibility of everybody. Because there's no money, we can't do much. But I guess we should be able to raise some results from somewhere.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Jerry, you raised your hand, so sorry, I called you directly.
Thank you.
Name.
That's okay. That's how I'm called in Techiman. I'm just called Ejari simply so. Yes. Okay. Welcome, Mr. Nominee. Yes. No, now I'm Ejari. Yes, they know Ejari.
Go ahead, don't allow them.
Please, page 2 of your CV. 5 under employment. You stated that you practiced at Chancery Chambers from 1992 to 2002. The next line, which is B, you stated that you started your work as a member of parliament for Adansi Asokwa from 2001 to present. C, you also indicated that you became a deputy minister for energy in 2001. Can you help us reconcile these 3 years?
Yeah, sure. It's not that difficult. Okay. When I came in to contest for the election, you know the vagaries of political elections. You win or you lose. You're not so sure. So thank God, results December, I won. I looked at the ambience and to decide on what was going to happen. I wasn't packing up my practice in England almost immediately. So I came over, then was appointed deputy minister. That's 2001. But there's a process you go through in England. Even though I was not physically practicing going to court between the times that I've given you, my name was still on the list of registered practitioners at the Bar of England and Wales. Now you had to make conscious effort, take a conscious decision on what to be done. So it was at that stage that I notified the General Counsel of the Bar, the Legal Counsel of the Bar, that I was suspending my practice. Before 2000 and at the time that I had indicated, even though I wasn't physically in court, I wasn't attending court, I was here, my name was still on the roll of lawyers as effectively practicing. But I had to put a halt to it, so I sent in a letter at the time, 2002, that I was suspending practice in England.
Yes.
So please, does it mean that whilst working as a deputy minister for Ghana, you were actually a practicing lawyer in the UK?
As I speak to you, I am a qualified barrister, having been called to the Bar of England. Now I'm dealing with it, but I remain a member of the Honorable Society of Greystone for the rest of my life. And to the extent that I've not been disbarred from a practice at the Bar of England and Wales, I could activate my practice anytime. I've indicated that between that time, even though I wasn't practicing practically, my name was still there as a practicing barrister. There are a lot of procedures and rules that are in place in England about practitioners, how you go about it. You've got to be very clear that you don't fall foul of the rules. You'll be in trouble. You'll be disbarred. So they don't take this things lightly at all. So having realized that I was up to certain other things, I formally indicated to them that this is the position. I was not literally practicing.
I will let that matter rest, but as lawyers,
thank you very much.
We know that we understand.
I see that. I see that you were helping. Yeah, tell her. Yeah, it's all under control. Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, no, well, he was telling. Yeah, that's how it works. So thank you.
So my next question.
Hold on. Your leader wants to do a follow-up on your question.
Honorable Katie Hammond, are you a lawyer in good standing in the United Kingdom?
Yes,
because, yes, if you get called to the bar there,
I suspended practice.
So you are not in good standing?
It couldn't be.
Okay. No, you could, actually, if you renew it annually, you could.
No, well, if you want me to take you through, our rules are completely different. Completely different. You have to, every month, every whatever, be practicing, doing all sorts of things. So if you are not, or if you are incapacitated from doing that, your best bet is suspend your practice, else you will find yourself in choppy waters.
Okay. Honorable nominee, Section 27, Section 27 of Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act, Act 865, 2013. Mr. Chair, with your kind permission, I read a small section to you. A person who is not a citizen or an enterprise which is not wholly owned by citizens shall not invest or participate in A, the sale of goods or provision of service in a market, petty trading or hawking or selling of goods in a store at a place. Simply put, foreigners cannot do petty trading in our markets. But if you go to Makola right now, you see a lot of foreigners doing petty trading, disturbing our citizens. What will you do about this if you are given the nod?
Mr. Chairman, it's not a new phenomenon. It's rather disturbing. We heard about Guta and the Kumasi. We heard about all our people, the noise, radio. Every day we've been hearing this. Again, before this was conferred on me, I myself had been asking, what on earth is going on? You know, yes, there are protocols. You're supposed to do whatever you're supposed to do. Don't do ABC. What it's all is, it's a difficulty. Again, reading the kind of things I've been reading, I realized that cabinet, they are here. Energy minister is here, local government minister, they are here, communications, cabinet. They've really tackled this issue. I understand that there have been high-level meetings, contacts with the Nigerian, particularly the Nigerian, our brothers from Nigeria. I hear China is also becoming mixed up in this. It's a little disturbing. If you travel out to other countries, you see that you have a visa to do ABCD, and that's what you do. You know, in our free trade area, you come in here and there are protocols what to do. This is what you're supposed to do. This is reserved to in the indigenes. We are struggling. There's a committee in place. They've been discussing it. The embassies. Let's see what happens. We'll go in there and we'll try and do our best and get some sanity to prevail in this area. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Congratulations, honorable nominee. On page 1 of your CV, you indicate that you're married with children. Could you please let us know how many children you have?
How many wives and how many children?
Well, Honorable, if you wish to answer that question, please proceed, but it's so personal. Yes, please.
Well, Honorable Obi Amwa wants me to add how many wives and children, since you're a Muslim. We'll let that pass. But in some of your previous responses, you spoke about trading and industry, and small medium enterprises form a large part of those who are engaged in industrialization in this country. with your support, we can focus on trading within the region with locally manufactured goods, which I believe are key to our economic recovery. What would you do to support them to grow their businesses, if confirmed, the small and medium enterprises in this country?
Mr. Chairman, I think I indicated that I see that the ministry already has a 10-point plan in respect of the matters that you raise. Number one, I talked about the stimulus package to revitalize these companies, the small, medium. What the policy seems to be is this. They are in the doldrums. They should be brought back to life. What do we do? Economic, it's not only economic, which is physical, but they also have technical and other forms of assistance. Economically, it's on paper. It's been discussed. I think it's also been practicalized. The banks should, as much as possible, help to finance these companies. The government has actually also decided that